Have you been playing golf and you're getting sick and tired of chunking, thinning your wedges like a rocket through the green? This is the perfect video for you. We're going to talk about chip shots and pitch shots today. We're going to talk about why you chunk and thin, the easy solutions, and also what the difference is between a chip and between a pitch. These are really simple changes, really simple improvements that you can action straight away out on the golf course. Here's the honest truth. Most golfers are in trouble before they even start to swing. A lot of the problems with golfers that struggle around the greens lies within setup. So if we can get the setup fundamentally sound, you're set up to hit some really good shots around the green. Those nice, nipped, crispy chips with lots of spin on them, none of those fats, none of those thins. And with that, it's going to feel better and the scores are going to start to lower. Lovely. So first of all, what are the key differences between a chip and a pitch? I like to define it as what the ball does, not necessarily what you do. So I would define a chip shot as an A to B to C shot. So essentially what's going to happen is your ball will be fairly low to medium in trajectory, starts at point A, lands at point B, a fair amount of release towards the flag. Specific cases where you're using that are long greens, when you're trying to use the slope, when you don't need to pop the ball up in the air. Those are the specific times you use that. With a pitch shot, the best way I like to describe that is you start at point A, you hit the ball with a high trajectory, which gets the ball to stop through landing angle, and it stops at point B. You're using this over hazards, over humps, when you're probably a little bit further back, and when you want to take out any slopes and hazards in the way. So that would clearly define that in terms of the best way to play these and the mistakes that would be made. So the biggest mistake we normally see, two things at setup: a really wide stance that almost mimics your full swing, and standing really far away from the ball. If you do that, you have got a much higher chance of chunks and thins. We also don't want too much tilt away from the target. We see a lot of setups that look like this. So narrow stance in both cases, chip and pitch. We want the feet quite close together, roughly 2 club heads wide. We need to stand really quite close to the ball. Specifically for a chip, close and tall. We want that handle quite upright. That's going to allow for less wrist hinge and encourage that lower, flatter flight. If you're playing a pitch shot, a little bit further away, a slightly lighter grip, but still a narrow stance. So that would be the main changes. There'll be a little bit more wrist hinge. Because of that, that will then increase the flight, that will then increase the loft on the club. So that's the main differences between a chip and a pitch. There's obviously what the ball does, and that's what changes you make to do that with the ball. So before I share this amazing little hack for you for both chip shots and pitch shots, if you're new to the channel, please do me a huge favour by clicking that subscribe button. It goes so far to help the channel, and my promise to you is I'm going to get the best content out there to help you with your golf. What are the main problems that we see? Wide stance, that's going to cause poor contact. Too much tilt, that's going to cause poor contact, and the weight is going to move towards the back foot. So weight at the back foot and leaning towards the back foot is going to cause huge problems for chunks and thins. So a nice simple thing that you can do, you can place down 4 golf balls, which is roughly 2 club heads wide. And what you can do is when you practice, you can use this as a really nice guide to get the same width of stance all the time. And you can also use it to vary between chip and pitch. So if you've got a stock chip shot, the best thing to do is get close and tall. So bring that golf ball slightly closer to you. Handle points around about the belly button. And we're going to put the golf ball at the 3rd ball. So it's slightly right of centre. Hands are slightly higher because of that, and you're generally going to keep this Y shape down your arms and down the club better. That's going to encourage more of a sort of pocket to pocket swing, more of a chipping motion, keeping the weight more on this side, so more towards the 2 golf balls on the left hand side. And that really starts to encourage those nice crispy chip shots that go low, that check and spin and end up really close to the hole. For pitch shots, generally what we want, we're going to have the ball slightly further forward. So it's going to be more towards the 2nd ball or right in the middle as opposed to the 3rd ball. The shaft isn't going to lean forward as much. It's going to be more vertical, straight up and down. The weight's still on the left side and a little bit further back. So either you can stand away from the golf balls or you can move this ball away from you and stand a little bit further away. Grip is generally going to be a touch lighter. So if we score your chip shot out of 10, say you hold it at a 7 out of 10, a pitch is going to be more like a 4 or a 5. So best way to test this, take your thumbs off. That would be quite a light grip, a good tension to try and copy. That would be the main differences. That's then going to encourage a bit more wrist hinge, there'll be a bit more body turn, and there's definitely going to be more loft. Suited for a high shot that's going to land and stop. So that's a really good station if you want to improve your wedge play. So definitely do this for width of stance. Weight towards the left. A great drill if you want to improve where your weight is at address and throughout the swing is to take your normal setup, lift your right heel off the ground. That's how much weight you're going to feel on the left side. Keep it there and play your shot, keeping that weight on the left leg. So good for consistent contact with those pitch shots. So there you have it, guys. That is the top reasons. Width of stance, too much weight on the back leg, either at the start or throughout the motion. Having too much tilt by feeling like we have level shoulders, or as level as they can get. That is really going to help the contact. And then we've got a fantastic drill to keep the weight left throughout the whole motion. If you can get a really, really good setup, you'll be amazed how many more good shots you hit. You don't even have to think of anything in your swing. And this is without a doubt what I see most golfers struggle with on a day-to-day basis. Hitting those thins, hitting those chunks because they're not turning properly. Get that weight to the left. Get that good setup, get some chest turn towards the target with both shots. That strike is going to completely change. So give those things a try. If you'd like any extra help with your golf, download the free 60-minute practice guide in the description below. And if you'd like even more help, you could get a free lesson with me via the Skillest app, again down in that description below. So go give that a try, get yourself a phenomenal setup around about the greens. You'll see your strike completely change, you'll see your distance control improve, and comment down below if there's anything around the greens that you struggle with and you want to see in future videos. So there we have it, guys. If you'd like any extra help with your wedge play, make sure that you check out the video just here.